Hello, hello.
Hello, everybody. All right, so it's another Thursday night, and I want to do a quick little reason for the title of the show. I actually got into watching YouTube, and of course, you jump down rabbit holes in YouTube, and I hit videos of life in the 50s, and I was like, oh, this is neat. And I watched one of those lovely 50s things. It was kind of like one of those film strips, oh, mom does this and dad does this. And I'm going, wait a minute. Dad's getting waited on hand and fucking foot, not having to do a goddamn thing. Oh, God forbid he had to sit down with the daughter and help her do math, and mom has to go take care of the kids. Mom has to go do the grocery shopping. Mom has to do the cleaning. Mom has to make sure that dad, you know what? Fuck that. Fuck
Exactly.
that. Fuck that. Fuck that. So... And then I watched another one, and it said, in the 50s, kids knew exactly what rules they had to follow, and girls did this, and boys did this, and, and I'm going, excuse me? Screw the damn rules. I am so done with rules. I'm so happy that the 60s happened, and a bunch of kids went, you know what? Fuck that. We don't want to do it. So... I decided, you know what? And then I started looking into how women, girls were, supposed to take care of the husband and become the lovely wife and the mother and all that. And I went,
no.
I went, thank you. And I went, you know what? And I said, guess what? That's going to be the show this week. I think we need to discuss women behaving badly. At least society says we behave badly. I don't think none of us behave badly. I don't think so.
We just march at our own beat.
Exactly. I don't do any of the cooking. I don't do any of the cleaning. I have never touched my washing machine. Ever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I seriously,
I don't that often.
I couldn't tell you how my washer works. I paid for it.
Good.
But I don't do laundry. My husband does the cooking, the cleaning, and the laundry. I help if I want to.
That's
like I cooked the other night, but it was like a red letter day. I cooked a meal.
Awesome.
We have the exact
awesome.
and that works for us.
He's the good house husband.
Exactly. He takes care of the cleaning for the most part. Like I help, with the cleaning, but he does all the cooking. He does all the laundry, and it works for us. He takes care of things so that I can work. And that's perfect for us. It's an absolutely perfect system for us. Would that work for anyone else? Probably, it all depends. It's what you and your partner agree to. But I'm sorry, fuck anyone that would say, oh, you need to be the stay-at-home whatever, please. I'd go nuts.
Exactly.
You would never see me vacuuming in heels, a dress, and pearls.
Oh, please. Exactly.
my slippers. The only jewelry I wear are a few pieces. That's about it. And if you're lucky, if I put my contacts in that day, half the time my glasses are on unless I go out.
Mm.
And even then, it has to be for a good reason.
Yeah.
I honestly, I wear my work uniform, which is khakis and a polo. Man, when I get home, I want to just bra off. PJ pants on, sweater, something nice and loose. I'm like, forget this. I just can't. I can't.
Oh.
Half the time I'm like, I gotta cook dinner. I'm like, what am I gonna cook? You guys want a pizza?
Well, that's the only reason I cooked the other night. I actually made dinner, which literally is a red letter event. Because I'll cook breakfast like on a day off, like eggs or whatever. That's fun.
Right.
But I actually cooked dinner after work because I knew Nick wasn't feeling so hot. I knew he hadn't slept well. So I'm like, okay, I'm sick of takeout. I'm sick of pizza. So I actually cooked. But that was only because I didn't feel like takeout and I knew he didn't want to. Otherwise, I don't.
Right.
I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the thing. I have too many years of education that would be wasted if I was a housewife. Oh my God! Nothing against people that choose to do that. You want to do that? Go for it. That's the thing. We don't need rules. We don't need to be constrained by a rule. do what the fuck you want that works for you and your family.
Well, I feel like the last few months I've turned into a housewife because I haven't had anywhere to go.
Eh,
Oh wow.
My
I
work,
think a lot of people
my
have.
work commute has been from the bedroom to the living room in front of my computer.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
So other than that, I'm the one, I'm doing the cleaning because otherwise I'm going crazy because I honestly don't know how people were getting bored with being at home because I'm like, I'm literally busy cleaning and just doing stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like, what do you mean bored? What's this bored? If I'm
Yeah.
bored, I could take
What is this
a nap.
strange word?
If I don't have
Any
something
book
to
to
do, I
read
take
to
a
ever be
nap.
bored.
I
I have too
I
many
don't-
books to read.
I don't
I
think-
never get bored.
Yeah, I don't think that I could be bored sitting at home because I'll sit at home, like I'll sit at home and I'll finally take a break and I'll be sitting on the couch and I'll be looking around going, yeah, I need to take care of that project. Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to do that. And then sometimes I'll jump up and I'll go take care of it, or I'll end up like grabbing my diamond painting and start working on that, or
Mhm.
I'll just go, you know what? I think I'm gonna go take a nap today. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go take a nap. But
Yeah.
like I work typically I work 6 days a week, so I get one weekend off a month. So it's it's a little bit different for me. I mean, thankfully Russ does some of the work. Like we split the housework fairly 50-50. He even cooks. I'm so happy I have a husband who's not afraid to cook something. He actually cooks good too, by the way. If he ever invites you to dinner, have him cook because I just might completely go, fuck it, throw it all in the Instapot and pray it comes out okay.
Seriously, I love my Instapot. I was able to make pork chops from frozen in 20
Mhm.
minutes. I'm like, that thing is freaking
Yep.
awesome. Best
Oh, hell yeah.
$20, best
I-
Christmas present ever.
I have come home in the evening and I've been like, damn, I forgot to take something out. I'll grab a pack of boneless chicken. I'll throw that in there. I'll throw 2 cups of chicken stock in there, some Italian seasonings and whatnot, and some rice. And I'll be like, lock it up. All right. 10 minutes later, you got freaking chicken and rice. It's like, yes, throw a can of cream of chicken in there or just thicking it up with some cornstarch and you're good to go.
Yep.
Nice.
I might
Phenomenal.
have to look into one.
I'll just see if Nick wants
I'll
one.
teach you how to use it.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're really easy.
yeah, I figured.
So,
I've got 2.
Oh yeah, because you have your one you take to work with you, don't you?
No, I want one. I want a 3-quart to take to
Oh,
work
okay.
with me. I have a 6-quart and an 8-quart. We have the baby and we have the daddy. We have the big daddy and we have the baby. And then, I want the baby to take to work. But those things are like $90 for the 3-quart. I'm going, I only paid $20 for my 6-quart and $40 for my 8-quart. I'm like, put that bitch on sale. I'll get it then.
yeah.
Check Amazon.
Justin
I
got
did.
mine.
I look. That's where I'm seeing it.
Oh.
I can't remember where Justin got mine. It was a Christmas present, so I guess I'm not supposed to know.
Mhm.
But he's like, it was an impulse buy. So I had
Right.
to ask for something expensive, and it wasn't going to show up in time.
Right.
So he's like, "Here, I got you an Instapot." I'm like, "Thanks."
No,
it's like the best thing ever.
I kind of felt like the rule of never buying an appliance for.
Oh please! At this point, I really don't care. Like we got one of the stick Dysons, the cordless. Best vacuum
Ooh.
ever.
I love our Dyson. We went ahead and got one. It's actually at the dump. I find the best stuff
wow.
at the dump. We got it, and it was sitting in there's this little area you could set it set stuff aside. Like if it's still good, like a kind of like an exchange type thing. And we were looking at it, I'm like, what's wrong with this thing? And then I took it, like the bottom was taped. I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's probably the latch is broken. I took it home, cleaned it up, ordered a new tank from Amazon. $20 later, we had an almost brand new Dyson.
Nice. Those are good.
So,
Oh,
I
they're
have one of those.
awesome. Like we have one of the cordless. That thing is so light. It's got a great battery. I can make vacuuming so easy.
Yeah.
I don't do the vacuuming. I don't vacuum very often at all.
See,
I have a son and a husband that do the vacuuming most of the time.
see, Jason can't vacuum because of cat hair.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So I do it.
Yeah, cow
I do
toes
it
the vacuum.
probably once a week. I mean, just depending on how dusty and like if I'm working in my craft area, I'll vacuum that at the end of the day when I'm done. So that way the cat doesn't get in the threads and stuff. But if I'm just like
Right.
everyday dirt and debris, I'll just get it once a week.
Most of our house is hard
Well-
floor, so there's not a whole lot.
Mhm.
It's just the bedrooms, they're carpet. So
Ugh,
the boys run the vacuum through that as needed.
I hate carpet.
There you go. That's the best way to do it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, those carpets look a little dusty. Go vacuum. Go do something. Go be pretty.
Go be productive.
Oh my
Leave me
gosh.
alone.
Hey,
Go
the
do
kid's
something.
12. He's old enough to do stuff like that.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Now, if we could just explain stuff like that to my two upstairs, that'd be great. Be lovely. Oh my gosh. Well, now let me ask you. So part of one of those videos that I was watching, it said was talking about this young lady in high school, and she's only popular because she goes out and parks in cars with boys. You don't have to park in cars with boys. I'm going, excuse me? Really? Yes, you do. Like, if you want to, maybe she likes parking in cars with boys. Maybe she likes getting down and dirty.
I'm sorry. I actually lived with Nick before we got married, and my grandmother, my Catholic grandmother, actually had no problem with it, and she actually at one point was like, "It's good that you figure out if you're compatible before you get married." And I'm like,
holy shit.
It was so funny. The first time Justin and I went to visit my grandmother, it was when we first started dating. We were living together. She made us sleep in separate rooms because she made him sleep in the recliner in the living room, and then it was the most hilarious thing ever.
"Oh my God!"
From then on, we got a hotel room, but it was the fact that we were living together in the same house, in the same bed. She just thought it was the craziest thing.
Oh my God. I still remember this is funny. When Nick and I got together, we hadn't been together that long, and a cousin of mine was getting married, and the invite had gone to my dad's house because I had just moved to an apartment. No, my that part of my family didn't have my address. And my dad calls me up. He's like, "Hey, you're invited to your cousin's wedding. Do you want to go?" I was like, "Yeah, that'd be fun, And he's like, "You get a +1." I'm like, "Great. Let me check with the guy I just started dating, see if he'd be interested in coming with me. Give me a day or two. I'll get back to you." So I talked to Nick. I'm like, "Hey, you want to go to this wedding? We've only been dating a couple of months, but, you can meet my entire extended family on my dad's side." And he's like, "Yeah, sure. That'd be fun." And we actually planned like a whole vacation out of it, this whole thing. And so I called my dad up. I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take the +1. The guy I'm dating would love to come with." And my dad says to me, he's like, "Great. Do you need one room or two?" And I'm just like, "Oh, just one."
Oh, wow.
It didn't even occur that what I just said. After I said that, I'm like, I just told my dad I'm having sex.
Oh god.
And my dad paused. There was this very heavy pause, and he's like, "Okay." And he did. He booked us one room, had 2 beds in it, but it was one room. But he did ask. He's like, "1 room or 2?" It didn't. He did ask. But I was just like, "Oh shit!"
That's true.
I just told my dad I'm having sex. Oh crap! Actually, he handled it fine.
Wrong with that.
He did give Nick one of those man handshakes that's some
Crush their
goblin-
bones and
that thing. But on the whole, it actually went pretty well. But I was still remember, I was like, "Oh, what did I just admit?"
Oh, I got thrown into meeting Jason's family right away because we had just started dating and his aunt was having a birthday. So he was like, "You want to come? You're going to meet some of the family." Literally, it was just boom, everyone. And his one sister was getting married, so he was like, "Oh yeah, you're coming to that." And then his grandfather passed away. It was funeral. I was like, "Okay."
Oh gosh.
So it was,
Oh my god.
3 weddings and a funeral.
I
Oh
feel like
my
that's sort of been
gosh.
our relationship has been weddings and funerals.
Yeah.
It's okay. I remember meeting Nick's at the time stepmother. This is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Nick had a stepmother named Nancy. Picture a troll doll, but female. That's what she'd look
Oh,
like.
jeez.
Oh God.
Yeah, she was interesting.
Did she have a little jewel in the belly button?
Oh my gosh, she was interesting. So we're driving. I don't know. I think we're going to a friend's house or so. We're just driving, and we drive past a house, and he sees her car. It was like her friend's house. And he's like, "Oh, hey, you want to stop and meet my stepmom?" I'm like, "Sure." First thing she says to me, I'm being polite. "Hi, I'm Kate. Nice to meet you." She's like, "You're not pregnant, right? I don't want to be a grandma yet." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
I'm like, "I'm on birth
Yeah.
control, thanks." But anyway, nice to meet you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, and then of course
That's lovely.
the first
Oh,
time
she
Jason
was
met some of my extended family, he was over for dinner. And my mom had mentioned that we were heading south for a family get together. And Jason's like, "Oh, could I come?" And I was like, "Sure, if you want to." And I was like, "What? You didn't mention it to him?" And I was like, "Well, I didn't know if he wanted to be thrown into the lion's den." I was like, "But if he wants to come, that's fine."
Oh my
It's okay.
gosh.
When I met Nick's grandparents, who were the best people in the world, they've both since passed, but they were just the loveliest people you ever want to meet. We go up to their house, which I swear to God, their driveway was like this. They lived on top of a hill. Their driveway was like one of these numbers where you like went straight up. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. We get up, go to their house, meet them, and they're lovely. I put on my, the company manners. I'm like, "Hi, I'm Kate. Nice to meet you." I'm nervous because these people are very important to him. They were more important to him than his own parents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, these people were, and they were lovely. We're leaving. They say to him, "Don't screw this up. She's a keeper."
No pressure.
Nothing to me. They love me. They're like, "Don't screw this up to him."
That's funny.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the first time Russ ever met my dad's side of the family was for my grandmother's funeral. Russ and my kids were both teenagers, so he had never been there. Now, my dad's side of the family is in West Virginia, and they are a big West Virginia family, and they are big women, and they are big huggers.
Oh,
I
God.
neglected to warn them all that this was the case. We walked in the door, and my Aunt Vicky goes, "It is so nice to finally meet you," and grab hold of Russ, and he's like, "Oh shit! It's so nice to meet you." And this big, Russ is looking at me like, "Oh my God, what the hell is going on?" And then
Yep.
both of my kids are like, "How do these people know us?" Because they're all like, "Hi RJ, hi Ray." They're like, "We don't know these people. Who are these people?" And my aunts are grabbing them, and my daughter's looking. My daughter is very anti-touch, and these people are very, "I'm not going to ask. I'm just going to hug you." And she's like, "Oh God, there's people touching me. They're touching me. They're touching me." It was so bad. I felt so bad. But the house, my grandmother's house, you literally have like maybe 50 feet between the back porch and the railroad tracks. And so the coal trains come down all the time.
Uh-huh.
I'm used to it. I slept through it my entire childhood. I would go back and forth there a lot. We're in bed one night, and we're in the room that I used to always sleep in when I went to visit. Now, my grandmother made ceramics, and y'all know how grandmas make ceramics. They're all kinds of weird shit. My grandmother had these ceramic cats with these bright green eyes, and they were marble eyes, so they really lit up. Well, the first night we're there, a train goes by, and it's loud. At least to Russ, it's loud. and to my kids, I guess, because they were in the room right next to the train tracks. Anyways, train goes by. Rush jumps up. What the hell is that? I said, train, go back to sleep. And then he goes, okay. And then he rolled over and he looked, and evidently the cat's eye scared the shit out of me. He goes, what the fuck is that?
Oh my god.
Train. I said, I'm like, train. He goes, no, it's staring at me. I said,
That reminded me, my grandmother.
Oh my god.
She used to collect dolls on her travels, and she had one of her guest rooms was pink and frilly.
Oh gosh.
And had dolls. She had a wall with dolls on it, and then she had an office that had a wall with dolls on it.
Oh dear.
When we moved her into the assisted living house, we were cleaning her house out to sell it, and I was helping. I looked at the dolls and I said, no. Because we were, divvying up stuff between my dad and his brothers and the grandkids. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
Nope.
My one cousin, she took the dolls. And I was like, that's fine. Because no. I was like, they would probably be in a dumpster somewhere.
Oh.
Because they were just that. And she had like the old like puppets were the marionettes.
Yep.
No.
Cool.
No.
That's we first time we stayed at Justin's parents, his dad and stepmom's house. His stepmom had a bunch of dolls in the bedroom that we were staying in. Justin turned them all around, and so they couldn't watch us while we were sleeping. He moved a bunch of them, threw a blanket over some. He's like, nope.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Like, that's what he's like. He said, I've seen this movie. I know how it ends. I ain't gonna be that one.
Yeah, my grandmother was the queen of travel knickknacks. I mean, her house was covered in travel.
Did she collect those salt and pepper shakers?
No, she collected teacups. She collected plates. She collected dolls. She collected God knows. I mean, it was just... And of course, she grew up during the Great Depression, so when we were cleaning out, we had to check every pocket, every bag, everything.
Yep.
My grandfather and my grandmother, same thing, grew up during the Depression. And after my grandfather passed in 91. And every time my grandmother had to pay a property tax bill, she would find money somewhere that he had hidden. It was the weirdest thing.
Oh, wow.
Under the mattress, between the mattress and the box spring.
Yeah, like she found a wallet in a pair of pants that had exactly the amount of money she needed for the taxes.
Oh, cool.
She found like money in an envelope shoved in the back of the desk. Like, it was the weirdest thing.
An envelope taped up under a drawer.
Or she would play the lottery ticket and win just enough. And she always said it was my grandfather looking out for her. Because she would, every time like her taxes came due, because she lived on Social Security and a pension. She didn't have a lot. But every time she needed that money, it would pop up somehow. It was the weirdest thing. But thankfully, when we cleaned out her house, she didn't collect shit. Thank God. Because we had to clean her house out. She finally gave up the house. She gave up driving after she almost ran me over.
Oh, God. Away from my grandmother.
She legit almost ran me over in her driveway. Because Nick and I came to visit, and her driveway was one of those ones that looks like kind of a Y. It's like a straight, and then there's a little like
curve,
little section off to the side. My grandfather had paved part of the side yard for a second part of the driveway. So we parked on the street because we knew it's her driveway. And we're standing in the driveway, up by the garage, waiting for her because she had run to the Acme grocery store to pick something up. She comes whipping into the driveway and almost clips me. I'm like,
Oh, jeez.
I'm right here, Grandma.
like, I'm not hard. I'm sorry. I am easy to see. Thankfully,
Right.
she realized what she did. She actually stopped driving after that, thank God. But she had fallen and busted her ankle, and so she finally gave up the house because she really shouldn't have been alone anymore. And so we had to clean this house out. This house had one air conditioner that was almost never used because money, is expensive. So we're cleaning out this house and there's no air upstairs. We're cleaning out this entire house that she had lived in since 1955, but thank God she wasn't a big hoarder of stuff. But still, oh my God, that was like the roughest 2 weeks. Oh, it was so hot.
Oh my gosh.
My grandmother, my grandfather had passed away in like 99. And then so my grandmother was in this house. So it's like, I was like the 60s. And she finally, we had to take her keys away from her because we think the dementia started a lot longer earlier than what we thought, but she was so good at covering it up and hiding it. And it was finally when she was supposed to take a trip and didn't remember that she didn't go on the trip. And then,
oh gosh.
She called and because it was a Saturday and my dad had a band concert and we were going to just, pick up my grandmother for the concert. And she called and she's like, I need to run to the commissary, then I'll meet you guys at the concert. And something went off. And my dad was like, no, you're not driving. So we had to call the cops to meet us there, to have a police officer meet us there. My
oh, geez.
Dad and I rushed. Was it me and my dad or my mom? We rushed there. And I mean, it was a fight to get the keys from her. Finally, we get the keys from her. And for a while, the car was just sitting in the driveway. And she would see the car and go, where are my keys? Where are my keys?
Oh, no.
So his brother came up and took the car. And then when we finally decided to move her out, because she was living by herself, because my mom wasn't working anymore, she had retired, she was going over there almost every day, if not every other day, to check on her, take her grocery shopping, go to the doctor. And my grandmother, her grocery shopping literally was, she would buy 2 yogurts, like 2 toilet papers. If she could have bought bread by the slice, she would have. And
jeez.
I mean, the first time my mom took her to the store and said, and I mean, literally made her spend at least almost $100 on groceries. My mother thought, she was like, your grandmother almost lost it. Because she never thought of ever spending that much money because she almost went to the store almost every day. My mom was like, I can't take you to the store every day.
Yeah.
And then they would go to the commissary. My mom would tell her to sit down, and my mom would go and do the grocery shopping.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we finally moved her out and we were cleaning the house, we'd gotten everything. And then my uncle was like, oh, let me go check the attic. And my mom was like, there's an attic.
Oh, God.
Luckily, my uncle was a lifesaver because he would bring his big van up, load everything that none of us wanted, and take it down to his place and go through it and get rid of everything. And then there was a few things left, and we literally looked at the neighbors and said, everything that's left you can have except for the bar stools because they go with the bar. But I mean, there was beds, there was other stuff. They were like, anything in the house left, you guys can have.
Yeah.
So we're like, we don't want it.
Damn.
I worry about the hoarder house that I don't know what's going to happen. My long story, very short. I'm an only child. I don't actually currently speak to my mother because of mental emotional abuse issues. We don't talk. But I am technically her next of kin. Her house is legit a hoarder house. The last time I was in there, it was horrible. I went in there, I think the last time I was in her house was oh God, years ago. I went in and took family photos because I said to her, I was like, hey, look, I really want photos of me as a kid, my father. They were divorced when I was 2, but she still had photos, of him and me and whatnot. I'm like, I want my photos from trips I took that, she didn't take, but they were like there in that house. I'd forgotten to take them with me when I moved out.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, no, they're all mine. Excuse me? No, they're not. So I went in when she wasn't there because I still actually technically have a key to this house. I still have the key. And I went in and I took all the photos I wanted. I emptied photo albums. I took framed photos. They're all in boxes. I just took what I wanted. She has never noticed.
Mm-hmm.
And I did this back in 2003. I did this back before I got married, and she still never noticed. So this house is bad. It's like piled to the rafters. My uncle, God bless him, he's a good guy. He went into the house to get something for her while she was sick. She's a hypochondriac. And all he said, and this man does not talk. When he talks, you listen because he does not talk much. So when he says something it is important, you listen. And he got asked, how bad is the house? How bad is the house? And all he said was, it's bad. And for him to even say that,
Oh.
So one of these days, I'm afraid I'm going to get a fucking phone call. Okay, she's dead. You got to take care of everything now. You got to clean out the hoarder house.
That's when you call a company and
Lord.
have them come in.
Yeah.
You pay them to clean it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to have to do. Thankfully, it looks like, from what I hear, because I hear everything secondhand, because like I said, we do not speak, which makes me a lot happier. My aunts have told me that she is actually starting to clean the house out because it looks like she hasn't been paying the mortgage, so she has to hopefully clean it out because it looks like she's going to get foreclosed on.
Ooh.
Her own damn fault if she does. I literally have no sympathy for her, but I'm hoping she's cleaning this out because I'm like, I don't want to deal with this shit. Like I don't. I like it's going to be hire a dumpster. Now, number one, I don't want to have to spend the money. That's
right.
It's
You could always
I have to.
You could always just sit there and have an accident and it catches fire and you don't have to fucking worry about it.
And I don't want to be.
I think you froze. I know it's kind of insurance fraud, but if you hire the right people, nobody would find out.
An attached townhouse. That's the only reason I'm not going the gasoline mask route.
Got it.
I don't want to be responsible for burning a whole row of houses.
Yeah.
If it was just hers, I'd light it up and be like, you know what? It's my property now. It's mine to do as I wish. I'm not making an insurance claim. I'm going to sell the land.
Just getting rid of it.
But no, it's an attached townhouse in an HOA community. So.
Oh God, can we?
I hate HOAs.
Can I do an HOA rant?
Please.
So
go for it.
You've known or I've ranted about our HOA. Well, apparently they've had nothing better to do than walk around and note the nitty little gritty shit. And one of them is, you got some mold on your siding, blah 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 blah.
Oh please.
Well, you know what? On them. So the neighbors across the street from us are great neighbors. Quiet, friendly, family, just a great family. And they decided, since pools are all closed around here, and they've got a teenage daughter and a preteen daughter, they wanted to get an above ground pool. 4 feet, nothing deep. And they got permission from the county to come in and flatten some of the land in their backyard so the pool would be level. So you don't want a pool that's
Yeah, no, definitely not.
cockeyed and doesn't sit flat. And they got all of the supports and stuff to block it off and everything. And the HOA decided they were going to stick their nose into it. There's nothing in the HOA that says that they need permission to do this in their backyard. But of course, HOA is like, What you doing? What you doing? Why are you doing that? You need to get permission to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my god.
Ugh.
And one of like their permission that you need to do is you need to go around and get so many neighbors' signatures saying that they're okay with it. Who the fuck cares? It's in their fucking backyard. Even if it was in their front yard. Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
I just
I
hate
it's people who were complaining that were not even in our section of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
our HOA, we have to have permission to cut down a tree in our yard that is bigger than 3 inches in circumference, no matter whether or not it poses an immediate threat or not.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
We have to have permission. You have to have permission to paint your door a different color than what it currently is. You have to have permission to have a car with no tags parked in your driveway.
Wow.
That's why if we ever get a mortgage and buy our own home, it will not be in an HOA neighborhood, which in Florida is actually really fucking hard to find. But I'm grateful we rent in a
HOAs.
Well, not thank God the neighborhood we rent in right now, no HOA. Now I got a pedophile next door, but no HOA.
Oh my god!
Yeah, honestly, it's preferable because the house we used to rent was in an HOA neighborhood, and that was such a pain in the ass. Like, you haven't raked. Well, the tree is not done dumping leaves. Why rake before it's done dumping leaves?
Yeah.
Why do this more than once? Do it once.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
there's leaves on the sidewalk. It's not windy today. It'll be windy tomorrow. They'll be gone.
Yeah.
Stupid shit.
No, our HOA gave us shit because the neighbor, and I know it was the neighbor across the street that bitched. We have a front flower bed that our landlord told us when we moved in. I don't care what the hell you do with it, because I never did anything with it. Okay, I never did anything with it, and you can just let it grow up, whatever you want to do. Well, we were letting it turn into like a natural fence because this is called Lake of the Woods. We're supposed to be woods, so we were letting all the little trees and shit like that grow up there. Finally, the HOA said, no, you have to clean that out. That looks really bad. It's just really bad. So the landlord let us know, and we were like, fine. We had them come in, we had landscaping guys come in and clean it out. And I said, I know what it is. The fucking nosy ass neighbor across the street probably bitched that he couldn't see into our yard to see what we were doing.
Oh. I'm lucky. Backyard is totally fenced, nice and high. They can't see over. And our son knows not to talk to the neighbor. But yeah, we lived here maybe a couple months. And all of a sudden, Nick yells for me. He's in like the third bedroom, which is the man cave. That's where he like falls backwards on chairs and stuff like that. And he yells,
the tumbling room.
The tumbling room, exactly. And he yells my name. And you guys know, half the time it's honey, sweetie, something like that. For them to actually yell your name, it's like important,
Right.
Because normally it's babe or sweetie or whatever.
Did he go, Lady Glitter Biscuit?
No, he yells real loud. Lady Glitter Biscuit is what he calls me when no one's around. And anyway, so I run in thinking something like horrible's happening, and he has the sex offender registry pulled up. And down here in Florida, you can look it up, and it shows their faces, it shows their addresses, and it shows what the hell they got convicted on.
Oh no.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, what's wrong? He's like, the guy next door. Now we had like done the hi, how are you wave thing, but they're like we could tell they were kind of weird, so we kind of ignored them to begin with. Anyway, it's this guy's mug.
Fury, stop. Sorry, cat's pulling on the rug.
This guy's ugly mug on the screen. Solicitation of a minor, possession of child porn.
Oh my gosh.
We were like, we told our son, you are not allowed to talk to those people. Period.
Nope.
Do not ever go into their house.
And he's married, and she's like been with him before all this happened and stayed with him after. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm sorry. I don't. I'd castrate the guy. I wouldn't stay with.
Yeah.
He's either got money or the sex is that damn good, or she's just that desperate. I don't know which.
I'm gonna guess desperate based on the fact she kind of looks like a troll doll too. It's definitely not money.
Okay.
This is not a money neighborhood. And I can't imagine the sex is that good because he's got a beer gut out to his knees. Like it's like, can he even get
Probably
to do
can't
one of those?
even
Like
see it.
shove the belly up, and maybe he can do it after that.
Does he get insanely big boxes delivered of body tape? Because that'll help to pull it all up. Take the fupa and pull it up and
Not that I've noticed.
run the tape from the belly all the way up to the shoulders.
Suspenders.
Maybe she's got a fetish for really fat guys.
Maybe. But she's not small either. Like, so the two of them, it's like, how do you get the bellies out of the way to actually manage anything?
Maybe his tongue is pierced.
Oh no! Oh no!
The look on Loretta's face. Oh my gosh.
Well, if that you hear slapping, you know what's going on.
Oh, Jason! Oh my God!
Yes. Them together, they can make yeast rolls without cooking. Oh God!
They probably could. They actually probably could, and they'd be nice and moist.
Pop that up. Oh, nice and moist.
Oh,
Oh God, I'm never gonna eat bread again.
Oh my god!
Oh my God! Did you guys hear of the woman who this woman was a skank woman. She was using her own vaginal yeast and using it to make bread, and then giving the bread to friends and stuff like that without telling them what she was doing. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. How do you like that?
No,
That's gonna make everyone puke.
oh my God! That's disgusting.
no.
It is.
Oh.
It's just like the guy who had AIDS and decided he got pissed off at the girl that he thought he got AIDS from, so he went around sleeping with every person he fucking could to give them AIDS, male and female.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! I mean, I've heard stories of women cooking with their breast milk.
I've heard stories
Yes.
of women cooking with their menstrual blood.
Oh my God, that's disgusting.
Oh God!
Women
No,
who
there was a whole.
Oh my god!
placenta. There are women who
Yes.
keep their placentas in like.
There's actually.
I'm
There's
sorry.
recipes for prepping. There's recipes for preparing your afterbirth to eat it, because there's a whole thing going around that you're supposed to be like the animals because you are an animal, and women would eat their placentas and it would help nourish the children. And I'm going,
Because the
no, there's
Stores and vitamins. We don't need to do that.
Because animals lick their youngs when they come out to clean them. So they ingest it back. We don't do that. I'm sorry. If I ever have babies, my placenta is going to science. I'm going to be like,
exactly. I did that.
science.
I didn't even see mine. They took it out and they threw it away. As far as I know, I don't know. Don't care. I've seen placentas, like animal placentas. Anatomy classes. It's fucking gross. And the whole reason that most animals do it is to avoid predation because they don't want the smell of blood around. So they eat it up, get it out of the way, get everything clean. And they get some nutrients back. But we don't need to do that. Number one, we're not prey.
Yeah.
Number two, we know our next meal is as close as the nearest grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And we don't need the nutrients. We don't need to protect ourselves from predators. There's no point in it. It's just fucking gross.
I donated both of mine. Both kids, I donated it. Just like I donated because RJ was circumcised when he was a baby, I donated the foreskin because they use it to grow replacement skin for people that have lost body parts.
And the placenta
and I was
for
like,
stem cell research.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was like, do whatever. I don't want it. I'm not storing cord blood. I'm not doing the placenta thing. Just do what you want with it all.
Oh, like
I
there
don't
are
care.
women who will get like lockets with like the placenta in it,
Mhm.
or they'll like
Oh God.
make a locket with like the little bit of the umbilical cord when it finally like falls off.
Now wait a minute. I have RJ and Rhea's umbilical cords that fell off. They're in their baby books. They
I think I
are
have
bagged and
clouds, but I'm
tagged
gonna
and in their
print
baby
them.
books. Mm-hmm.
I guess it's because I'm not a mother, but that just to me is like, why?
Now I saved the little like ring.
That's
thing
your
that
last
came with
physical
it.
link.
I think that little like bit of tissue
That's
actually
the-
like fell away. Went away. But
Yeah,
I saved the
that's
little
the.
like clamp thing.
I think my thing with it is that's the last physical link that you have with your baby. You know what I mean? That's the last. That's technically that's your proof that we cut the cord. But I actually have a container upstairs, a little box that has all of my kids' baby teeth in it.
Mine went to the tooth fairy as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, you guys want to hear it? Awesome.
I am the tooth fairy, and it's in the box.
I have the teeth in a box too. Actually, I've saved the ones that I've gotten. But you guys want to actually hear a really kind of gross story?
Go for it. We've already
Yes.
that gross stuff.
Can't be any more gross stuff than I already am.
Challenge accepted. So a person I know, and I'm going to keep this very vague, for not anonymous purposes, but a person that I have worked with that I know, very kind of granola crunchy, all natural type, which is nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Not my cup of tea, but teach their own. So she did like the whole midwife thing for the birth, and a friend of hers, not a blood relation, just a friend, her best friend, was going to help her, like be her support person through the birth because the baby daddy's next to useless. But so she decided to do a water birth in this kiddie pool thing set up in her house.
Oh.
Cool. Go for it. What does she do after the birth? She posts a picture of her sitting in the tub of water.
The bloody tub.
The blood-filled tub. In said blood-filled tub is the best friend and the baby daddy, her and the baby.
Okay.
Sitting there in the blood-filled tub. The best friend actually sat in the tub as she gave birth and like was her little support person, but sitting behind her as the blood just kind of filled the tub. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Oh God!
I don't.
Every time this story, but I just look at Loretta, she's just like, clean up.
You lost her.
It's almost as good as Am's.
Oh
Animal stuff and like.
Oh
God. Casper were talking, and you could just see Am just.
She's like, oh my God. That is. Oh God. That is bad.
I saw the photo. Like, and she put it on Facebook. I'm like,
no, the world does not need to see.
Okay, we have an interruption. We have an interruption.
Just let me say this. I would sit in a bloody tub with you if you was giving birth. I'm like, you know why? Because I can take a shower and clean that shit off. I'll be okay. As long as I don't get into no orifices, we'll be all I just don't want no nasty childbirth blood in the orifices.
But it would end up creeping into those orifices.
Oh my God.
it's everywhere, dude.
You gotta like squinch your butt cheeks and stuff, you know, keep it out, you know what I'm saying? You
gotta moist everywhere.
You gotta wear a condom, cover your junk up, you know how they, you like preparing to have a good night out, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, God. There are a few things we do not need to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Nope.
Yep. Oh, when I saw that, I was just like, oh dear. And like I said, to each their own, no judgment, but I was kind of like, what the fuck? There was a little bit of judgment.
Yeah.
you know what?
There's some
He made a cute kid.
strange birthing.
Yeah.
Aw, see that's the plus. That's
Yeah.
the plus.
And I get it, but they're just like, again, there are a few things like I don't need to see daily bump photos. We get it. You got a baby bump. We don't need to see it every day on our news feed.
Yeah. Yeah, she was good about that too. It was like, seriously, I finally muted her. I was like, I'm done for a little bit.
I don't need to see daily videos of the baby moving in your tummy. We get it. One or two is fine, but not daily videos. We don't need a picture of you or a video of you pushing your baby out.
No, Russ. You're not supposed to blow bubbles in the pool. Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to get your face all moist, you know? Come on now.
Oh God. I guess
I have a sister-in-law who's kind of like that. She's gotten a lot better with her second pregnancy, but her first pregnancy, oh my God, I was just like, I can't. I was like, we get it. You are beautiful pregnant. You're beautiful when you're not pregnant. But I don't need to see bump photos.
That's the one thing I wish. I never actually got a bump photo for me because I just looked like I was getting fatter. Like I carried him so deep. Like I didn't look pregnant. I just looked fatter because I'm chubby. I mean, I'm
right.
Yeah. You know, and so like I just
You're not
like,
chubby.
Yeah, I am. I mean,
you're fluffy.
I'm fluffy. Exactly, I'm fluffy.
Yeah.
I got like a fluffier, but I didn't have like the pretty like round bump type thing.
Yeah. Well, see, that's his sister-in-law. Our sister-in-law, when she was pregnant, from the back, she had that nice hourglass curve.
That was me.
And it was when she turned to the side, it was like, bam, there's the belly.
Yeah.
Bam, there's the belly, but from the back, I'm pregnant. I was like, damn you, because I'm going to.
I looked like I had swallowed a basketball. I looked like I had just swallowed a big, huge freaking basketball.
I'm just gonna look like
Rhea. On the other hand, Rhea, I just went all the way around. It was like I was wearing a spare tire. And yeah, but she tried to kill me. So she was she did. She made me sick the entire time. Like from day one on, she had me sick the entire time. RJ was the easy pregnancy and the long delivery. Rhea was the hard pregnancy and the you're just about fully dilated. Yeah, boom, there you are.
Oh, I
was like, okay. I got to the hospital and she was born at 9 in the morning. So yeah.
Oh, Cal was comfortable. Yeah. He didn't want to come out. He made me sick as a dog. First trimester. Oh my God. Oh, it was bad. Like even thinking about it, I'm just like, oh. All I could eat was saltine crackers and Campbell's chicken noodle soup. Not Progresso, not homemade. It had to be Campbell's chicken noodle soup. The cheap ass condensed cans.
I can understand that.
That was all I could tolerate. I almost cried one night because Nick was so sweet. Like he was so awesome when I was pregnant. Anything I needed, anything I wanted, whatever, he was right there, very supportive. But one night he decided to be really sweet and he made homemade chicken noodle soup and he used one of the cans as the base, and I almost cried because it was so sweet, but I couldn't eat it. It was I could tolerate, but it was still so sweet. But this was the funny part. After the 3-month mark hit the end of the first trimester, and all of a sudden I'm hungry. Like I want to eat. And I had this point had been losing weight. The doctor wasn't worried because I'm fluffy. I had the weight to spare. But I was losing weight all throughout my first trimester because I really couldn't eat anything. And Nick picks me up from work because for some reason we were just using one car. And he's like, what do you want to eat? And I said, I'm hungry. He's like, yeah, do you want soup? No, I said, I'm hungry. I want food. He's like, what do you want? I'll take you wherever you want. So we had nothing in the house except for soup. Like I couldn't tolerate him
Right.
cooking anything for himself. He was on cold food because the smell of anything was horrible.
Oh.
I'm like, I want Mexican. I went from eating nothing.
Oh wow.
Oh my god, your poor toilet was probably screaming after that.
Oh my no, it was great. We went to a Mexican restaurant. I ate myself stupid. He hates Mexican, more or less. Like poor guy ate like half his dinner and he's in the bathroom. I'm like, I'm just eating. We get out to the car. We get in the car. He turns on the headlights and a rat runs across the parking lot. And Nick's like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna puke." And I'm like, "What? I'm still hungry. Let's go get dessert."
Oh no.
All I wanted was spicy stuff. I at one point was eating jalapenos out of the jar.
Oh wow.
I was
Jesus.
fine.
That's what my son does.
I was like, nothing. I wanted nothing spicy. It was the weirdest fucking thing.
With my son, I could not see ground beef. I could not smell ground beef. I couldn't cook ground beef. I couldn't be anywhere near it. Couldn't eat it. Nothing. Just could not. Ground beef was off limits entirely. Just everything about it. And that was one of our staples in the house was ground beef. And I'm like, sorry, can't have it. I can't be anywhere near it. It made me sick. Oh God. But I was in love with I craved banana splits. So thankfully we had a Denny's not too far away that did awesome banana splits. It's really bad though when the waitresses at Denny's get to know you so well that you waddle in and she looks at you and she goes, "I'll bring the banana split and the soda right up." It's like, yeah, thanks.
So she's a good waitress who remembers her regulars.
Exactly.
Yeah, at 11 o'clock at.
Even at Denny's are open 24/7.
Of course. But then I also craved. I had a really good friend of ours who is both of my kids' godfather. He lived not too far away. And he would come over periodically and hang out, and he'd take me to the mall, take me out shopping and whatnot. And he would go all the way down to Woodbridge, and from where we were living at, it was a good 40-minute drive, and pick me up pizza from this restaurant called Brothers, and I wanted their sausage pizza, and he would pick that up for me, and I would sit in my living room with this medium sausage pizza from Brothers and a jar of pickles. And I was like, this can't get any more freaking cliche, but this is so good. And he'd be like, I'd be like, "You sure you don't want a piece of pizza?" And he's like, "I can't eat any pizza watching you do that with it." Because I would put the pickle slices on pizza and eat it like that. And he's like, I can't, no, I can't.
They actually have dill pickle pizza somewhere. There's like a couple different places that actually have where they put dill pickles on pizza, like a cheeseburger pizza with dill pickles on it.
Oh, sweet.
So good.
All I know is
I love pickles.
After I was born, I apparently shut Fairfax Hospital down.
Really good.
Because when I was born, there was a lot of baby thefts in hospital where newborns would get snatched out of rooms and out of the nursery.
Oh, shit.
And apparently I was in the room with my mom in the cradle, and I was being fussy. So she picked me up and put me on her chest and wrapped the blanket around, really tight, so I was snug. And she fell asleep, and the nurse came in to check on me. Saw that I wasn't
and you were gone. Oh,
no. Hit the button.
Oh, no.
No one could go in. No one could go out. They're doing a full search of the hospital.
Oh, no.
Gosh.
Walk into my mom's room to tell her the news, and she's sitting up feeding me, and they're like, and she's like, "What's all this commotion going on?" They're like,
"Oh my god." Whoops.
Yeah.
We're stupid.
So apparently I shut Fairfax Hospital down after I was born.
When Cal was born,
so you've been behaving badly since day one.
Yep.
I gotcha. Okay, that works. That works. That vets. I get it. Oh my gosh.
Yep, I was that kid.
Yeah, I haven't shut down a hospital.
Furiosa.
I was born at I
Sorry.
was born at a hospital during a hurricane, and they were during a tropical storm, and they were actually remodeling the hospital. So half of the ward was done up with plastic up against instead of a wall.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
and I was the only girl born in the hospital for 2 days, and they kept taking me to circumcise me. And the running joke is my mom started laughing every time they come in, and they come and they go, okay, we're gonna take her with us, and she's like, well, no, I'm not gonna. And she's like, just go ahead, and they would take me out. And then mom said about 10 minutes later they come back, they go, oh, she's our little girl, and it was mom's like, yeah. Hence the pink hat and the pink blankets, And then she said, she said, her and my dad both, sure enough, they said, about every 45 minutes or so, somebody would come in, they pick me, they take the cradle, they go, we'll be back, and they go out, and then about 10 minutes later, they come back in, oh, that's our little girl.
Actually, this was interesting. I didn't shut down a hospital, but I actually ended up with, when I was born, I actually ended up with a skull fracture.
Oh no.
I legit, to this day, have a dent in my skull because instead of a C-section, which is what I should have been, they did a forceps delivery on me. And my mom had been in labor for she'd been in labor for 24 hours. I wasn't going anywhere. When Cal pulled the same stunt, we went to C-section because he was stuck sideways. He wouldn't go this way. But they decided to go in with forceps, and they cracked my skull like a walnut. So nice big dent right here.
Oh, jeez.
Ouch.
The funny thing is, when I knocked my head on an exam light at work one day, like really bad, because these lights had like counterweights on them. And somehow the counterweight got behind my head when I was bent over, and I stood up and went doing, like I hit the ground. I'm seeing stars, the whole 9 yards. So I go to the hospital, drove myself, probably not a good idea. Also drove myself home.
Probably not.
Yeah.
No.
We were short staffed, so like I drove myself to the hospital, drove myself home. Again, not a good idea, but I did. And
why not?
So and they're like, you probably have a concussion. Let's do a CT scan, make sure everything's okay. I said, great. They're like, have you ever had head trauma before? I was like, yeah, I had a depressed skull fracture. They're like, when did that happen? I said, 1978. They looked at me like, what? I'm like, yeah. Forceps delivery, cracked skull, have a dent, whole 9 yards. You're gonna see this on the thing. And the ER doctor, I could respect this because I was at the time an ER doctor for myself, in my field. He was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. And I respect that. I mean, you hear sometimes a load of malarkey, and you're like, whatever. No, they do the CT, get back to the room. And he comes in, he's like, so the good news is you don't have any bleeds or anything. It is just a concussion. And he's like, we could see the dent. I'm like, yeah, figured you would. He's like, can I touch the dent? Go for it, dude. Well, so he did. He actually felt the dent because you can't see it, thank God, but you could feel it. Like it's prominent. Like if I ever have to shave my head for anything, you'll see it. It's pretty obvious.
Talking about driving when you're not supposed to. In his head, 2 concussions.
Oh.
And the first one, he was going to the 7-Eleven up by, we have a Walmart and there's a 7-Eleven kind of in the same shopping center. And it had been snowing and icy, and he's getting out of his car to go into the 7-Eleven to get a drink. And there's a patch of an ice that he steps on, and this car comes whipping past him. So he quickly jumps back to the SUV. And as he does it, he slips on the ice and falls flat between the SUV and the car next to him. Ow! No. Of course, the car that almost hit him, he actually put a dent in the SUV or the car that almost hit you. Oh, he's not paying attention. He put a dent in the car. Ouch. I think it was in the SUV when he hit it. He gets up, shakes himself off, goes into the 7-Eleven, gets his drink. And of course, people at the 7-Eleven are like, are you okay? Like, we saw it happen. Are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. Drives to work. He gets to work. He's starting, and one of his coworker goes, you don't look so well. He's like, yeah, I've got this headache. I'm just not feeling good. They're like, you really don't look good. You should probably go to the doctor. And one of the ladies that he worked with was like, I think you have a concussion. Because, I mean, his eyes were like all dilated. And he was like, yeah, it's probably, should do that. So he goes to the doctor. The doctor checks him out and goes, yeah, you have a concussion. You're going to need to, probably go get a scan. He comes home and tells me, he's like, yeah, I have a concussion. And I'm like, and
Oh
you
my God.
didn't think to call me?
Oh my God.
Second time. Again, had been cold weather, snow, ice. He fell right outside of our house.
Oh, no.
Oh gosh.
Oh crap.
Doesn't tell anybody.
Oh,
Goes to
not.
work. Realizes he's not feeling good.
Oh no.
Goes to the doctor. You have a concussion. Drives
my
home.
God.
He tells him, I'm like, it was right outside of our freaking house. You could have told one of us.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my
Drove
God.
yourself to work, which is about a 45-minute drive to an hour, depending on traffic. And
Oh my God. That's actually what I did. I drove
Man.
45 minutes home. I called Nick. I was like, yeah, I hit my head. He's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm driving home. And he's freaking out because I don't sound right. I actually was having trouble talking. I was a little dysphasic for like 2 weeks, which was fun. I'm like
Jeez.
trying to do my job, and I'm like, that the words weren't coming.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Jason. And of course, he couldn't because his job requires him looking at computer screens. You're not supposed to do that when you have a concussion.
Not so much.
Nope.
So
Not so
he
much.
wasn't able to really work for like a week to 2 weeks, or it was about a week. And then this was before he had his laptop. He was able to he met one of his coworkers. They brought him the computers, the monitors and all that he needed so he could work from home. And he was told he could only work for like half hour to an hour a day.
Oh wow.
Okay. Makes
He's
sense.
lucky. Jason, you're lucky you didn't kill yourself hitting your head on the curb.
Yeah, no shit. Worst I've ever done is face plant. I tried to jump a bicycle, a 10 speed, by the way, tried to bunny hop over a speed hump, over a speed bump. And completely misjudged, caught the front wheel on the top of the speed bump, flipped tail over 10 cup, landed face first in the road and slid right down.
Ow.
Yeah, that was was bad. And then I had to get up and ride back home, and I was like a mile and a half from home. I had to get back up, straighten everything out on my bike, and ride back home with my chin was all busted up, my nose, my forehead, my chest, my arms, my hands. I was tore up, and I had to ride back home, and then nobody was home, so I had to clean myself up, and I'm like, yeah, I think maybe I shouldn't have done that. I was like,
I did bike wise. We used to live at the top of a hill in this neighborhood in Levittown, and so basically, just Pennsylvania, so it's hilly. The streets aren't flat, and we lived at the top, and all my friends lived at the bottom. And it was the night, and this little rainstorm had come through and just like wet everything down, and then it went away. So I run back out, hop on my bike, and go zipping down the hill. And a friend of mine, they had like the perfect driveway to like go into to stop because it was wide. It had like this cool little hump over some tree roots, so like you could go over that, you could stop. It was fun. Yeah, I'm relatively smart, but I didn't think about the whole wet asphalt. Oils, anything. So I managed to, not sure how I did this. I went to go sideways. I overdid it, and I went down like sideways and like slid across the driveway. And somehow my leg got behind the kickstand. The base of the kickstand is about like an inch and a half long.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was in my leg.
Oh.
I had to like pull that out. Thank God my bike was fine, because otherwise I would have caught some serious hell. And then I had to limp my ass back up the hill. I couldn't even bike. Like, my leg hurt too much. I couldn't manage to bike. But I had to, like, limp my ass back up the hill to go get cleaned up and bandaged.
Stitches.
No stitches. No stitches. It healed actually pretty decently. I have a little, like, dent, but that's actually not the worst I ever did to my legs. The worst thing I ever did to my legs, and I apologize in advance because this is kind of gross. And I'm sure we've all done this. Shaving accidents, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the tub. I am still new to the shaving my legs thing. You know, it's like I'm getting there, but I'm not great yet. I'm constantly nicking myself and causing little bleeders and all this. Well, I was using these cheap pink daisy razors. Because that's what was available at the time. This is, a long time ago. We're not going to say how long ago, but it was a long time ago. And I'm in the tub, and I'm impatient because I'm tall. I have a lot of leg, and like I was just not paying attention. So I go up my shin, and I was doing it too fast, and I just went, and I felt this sting, and I'm like, oh,
big piece of skin.
The water's starting to turn red. I'm like, uh-oh. And it's starting to sting. I'm like, I lift the daisy razor up, and there's a 4-inch long strip of skin hanging off of it.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like, oh, shit.
I've done that.
I lift my leg up, and it's just like blood's just going. I'm like, put the leg back down. I'm like, I'm just going to wait until it stops bleeding, and then I'll take another bath. I was in there for like an hour.
Yep. I've ripped the skin right off with a razor before too.
Done something similar,
and I was young.
Yeah,
I was shaving my leg, and I must have had I had a bug bite on my leg, and I mean it was a big bug bite because I react to mosquito bites when I get bit by mosquitoes. I mean, like, they swell up.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I thought I was being careful going around, and again, it's one of those I'm going, and I whoop, and I
cut the mosquito bite off, didn't you?
Oh, right off. And I mean, blood everywhere. I mean, my itch is like, I'm just like, okay, well, it's gone. More. So,
that was funny.
Big hole in my leg.
So Bethany, I have to ask you a question.
Yep.
Does Jason have a hard head?
Well, I mean, what head are we talking about?
It all depends.
The only one that counts.
Well, they both
exactly depending on what you're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. Up here, very much, very stubborn.
Okay, I know the answer to this question, but I'm gonna ask: does anybody have a tongue ring? Does anybody's husband have a tongue ring?
Nope.
No.
I have heard and I have read some awesome freaking stories that is the best thing to have when a guy goes down on you. I'm like, okay. Russ won't do it though. He won't pierce his tongue.
No.
He won't do it. He won't pierce his tongue.
Yeah.
I've actually never been with a guy who had pierced tongue.
I haven't either.
Now, I will say Nick did have a tongue ring when we first got together.
But so do we have knowledge of this? Do we have knowledge of this actually being a good thing, or is come on, spill? Let's do
It's a good thing.
Apparently, he used to have a tongue ring.
Yeah, he took it out. I almost had forgotten. I actually just muted myself to check with him to make sure I was remembering right. Because he took it out. I forget why he took it out, but he took it out not too terribly long after we got together. I think he just got bored with it. But yes, it feels good.
Well, Jason just told me something I didn't know, and we've been together almost 10 years. He apparently used to have one in his youth.
Did he now?
Interesting.
Then again, this is also the boy who pierced both his ears by himself.
Yeah.
Ow.
And
Hey,
the
I gave
same-
myself a tattoo
Oh,
See,
seriously?
Jason-
with a
Jason
needle and
can't-
Indian ink.
Jason can't get tattoos because he's a bleeder.
Ah,
On
And
my
it's
hip, with needle and Indian ink and drunk as shit. It is the most fucked up tattoo ever, but I will never get rid of it and never cover it up because it's proof to me that it reminds me of, yeah, at one time I was that stupid because I was 15 at the time. And
Once we got
it
it,
also
see it.
reminds me that yes, you can get that fucking drunk. You want to see it? Look,
Yes,
I'll
I
show
want
you.
to see it.
Yeah, I've probably seen it. I just don't remember.
Can you see it? I don't know if y'all
can't
can
take
see it or
your
not.
name's
We
blocking
can
it.
show it too much.
Your name's
Is it
blocking
too bright?
I see it. Your name's in the way.
Nope, it's
Here.
right there.
Oh,
your
kind
your
of.
name bar's in the way.
Yeah, your name, your Princess Wonderfully Moist is blocking it.
Huh?
Your Princess
My camera's
Wonderfully
broken.
Moist. No, it's still.
Move over to your left.
Here.
Oh, there we go.
Get up higher.
There you go.
Okay, it's a flower.
Star? Yeah, it's a Star David.
Star,
Yep.
okay.
That's cool.
It is, and it's supposed to have another one inside of it, but that's when I got really freaking lit because I kept drinking while I was doing it.
Yeah, because you,
So,
you didn't want to feel
got-
it.
I got really freaking lit, and it just finally turned into a freaking blob, and I will never cover it up, and I will never get rid of it, and it is one of my that's my behaving badly at 15. I was like, yeah,
It can't be as
forget
bad
this.
as some tattoos that I've seen where like girls when during their skinny prom have gotten like tattoos around their belly button, and as they've gotten older or had
Yep.
children, they go from being dolphins to whales or from like stars to comet or
Yep.
or asteroids.
I had my belly button pierced when I was very, very skinny and very flat stomached. I had my belly button pierced, and they actually, the lady that did it was like, I don't know if I've got enough skin there to actually pierce. So she got it pierced. Well, it ended up getting infected, so I pulled it out. And now that I've got a bigger belly, I'm like, well, now I have the meat for it. But yeah, I really don't want to have one to show it off.
No.
The only thing I ever had it. Nick and I actually got tattoos, not matching. We'll never do that. But we got tattoos not long after we got together. So I have a tattoo on my back, and then I got this one not too long ago. My little kitty cat.
Right. Yeah.
I want to get a dog.
I
with
want to
this
get
one.
another one.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I'm going to get another one.
Oh,
I'm going to get I want to get my dragon, but you know.
Oh, speaking of dragon, there's a shirt my mom has that your daughter would love. It shows a dragon with a mask
Really?
on, and it says, "Ew,
Uh-huh.
people."
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I would love that
Oh
shirt.
my gosh.
That's awesome.
I got her and my son these shirts that have social distancing slogans on them, and I think Rhea's is, you know, I'm made for this. I've been practicing social distancing my whole life, so I'm like, yeah, that's her. I ordered both, and oh my gosh, they are so them. Because both of my kids, you've met them both, Bethany. Both of my kids are very. Rhea is very anti-people. She does not like people. RJ is tolerant of people, but you know,
I've
he could
seen
give 'em or,
more
you know,
of
take 'em or leave 'em.
RJ than Rhea. Rhea is
Right.
the only times we've really ever seen Rhea was, I think, twice when they both came out for dinner.
Yep. And she's antisocial as shit.
And she literally was on her. She started opening up a little bit at the end of one dinner, but for the most part, she's literally on her phone. This is her the whole time. Take a bite on her phone. Take a
That
bite.
was me as a kid with a book. You know, if I didn't know you, I
Yeah.
had a book. You know, I'd be sitting in a corner reading a book. You know, people be yakking. I'd be sitting there reading a book. You know, and I
I'm
finally
still
got
that
that.
way.
You know,
That's usually how I am, especially at Bobby's. I'm just like
Oh, yeah.
chilling out with a book.
Mm-hmm.
And,
now it's my Kindle app on my phone, but
and RJ
Yeah.
was a little more wanting to talk. He's a little more.
He's
And I think
Yeah,
it's just
he's
comfortable with me and Jason.
well, that and his job, he actually has to have interaction with customers and stuff like that because he's a delivery driver.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gotten a little more of the social, and not to mention he's a gamer. And so he's online with people constantly talking to him. He has his whole group online, but so he's gotten a lot better than, but Ray is like, nope, if I don't know you, not going to happen. And no, Jason, Russ does not have his belly button pierced. He won't do it.
That doesn't have anything else.
He won't even get his nipples pierced. He won't even get his nipples pierced. I told him that would be cool as shit. Put nipple rings in. I could just hold on to him when I'm on top. You know what I mean?
When he's being fat, you just probably twist. Oh my god!
Yes.
Nick actually just got gauges in his ears, like small gauges. Like he's not going to ever do like the real big things, but he got because he did have his tongue pierced, and like I said, I kind of forgot about it, but it kept hitting his teeth, so he took it out. So it didn't it wasn't in like we didn't overlap. The tongue ring and I were not overlapping much in terms of time, but he had earrings, took them out, let them close, but he decided to get like the slightly bigger piercing. Well, the other night, I'm just at that like beautiful point where you're just about to sleep, you're drifting off, you're comfortable, you're cool, you're like just perfectly positioned, and all of a sudden, Kate, I need your help, get up. What? Like I bolt up. I'm like, what?
You both have your hearts like racing, and you're just like,
pretty much. The adrenaline spikes. I'm like, what the fuck? He had taken a shower. I had gone to bed. He had gotten in the shower. He caught his poof on the earring. And he couldn't get it off.
Oh no! Dang! It was his new earring.
And it's pulling on his earring, and he can't unhook it because he can't let go of the poof, otherwise it's pulling.
Right.
And I had to like get this out, and he's just got out of the shower, so he was very moist. And I had to pop it out. So I pop it out. I hand it to him. I'm like, okay, here you go. I couldn't fall back to sleep for like 2 hours.
Oh. It reminded me, my sister-in-law, I think she still has her nose pierced, and she woke up one morning and her, there was like this bump over the piercing, and it was, she went to work and it was getting bigger, so she went to the doctor and they looked at it and they kind of popped it to see if there was something in it, and apparently she had washed her face with stuff that had like the scrubbing beads.
Oh no!
It got caught under her nose piercing, and so of course it got slightly infected, and they opened it and were working and popped the juice. They were like, yeah, just be careful when you're washing around your nose piercing. She was so embarrassed.
At least that's all it was. I got a friend of mine tagged me in a popping video the other day.
I love those.
On a dog.
Oh, I cannot watch those.
Oh God!
Love
I'll find it and I'll share it to the chat. That way you can watch it if you so choose. But it's really cool.
Okay.
I watch them.
I can't.
It's epic.
Russ watches them a lot, and I don't know. It's just. I don't know. This one, not my cup of tea.
This one's actually really cool because the dog feels better afterwards. Like, really,
right.
I have got to find it though because it was actually really
it drives Jason absolutely crazy. I'm a picker. I'm one of those, like, if I feel something that I know shouldn't, I like try to pick at it.
Pick it off.
I've gotten so much better because he used to yell at me because he's like, "You're making me bleed." I would, because on it, and so I've gotten a lot better about it.
Yeah,
about not picking at things on him because I'll scratch his back. I'll scratch his back, and so I'll feel something, and he's like, "You're picking." And I'm like, "Don't mean to. I just."
It's hard not to.
Yeah.
All right. I sent it to you guys if you want to take a quick look. So you can.
I'm actually watching it now. That's a big old cyst. Goodness
Loretta's
gracious.
like, no, thank you.
Whoa.
Oh.
There's a lot of gunk coming out of that.
Oh. Oh, that poor puppy. That poor baby.
Oh wow.
Oh, look, he looks a lot happier. Oh my
Exactly.
gosh.
If you guys want to see something really gross, though, Google on YouTube, look up mango worm.
Oh no, I've seen some of those here now.
Mango worm?
Yes,
Yeah.
mango
Oh,
What is
worm.
he looks
that?
so much happier.
Look it up on YouTube.
I've
What
seen
the
them pulling
hell
out
is
like
a
botfly
mango
larvae out
worm?
of like things before. There was a video of them pulling a botfly out of a kitten's nose.
I've done that
Oh.
actually. They are so happy
Oh.
when you get it out because they can breathe again.
I've seen some guy
Oh.
had a slug up his nose that they pulled out.
Ew.
And
How the hell
it
do you
was so nasty because you just saw like the slime.
Oh, how did it get slug up there? That's gross. But yeah,
He
Anna,
probably
Google-
stuck it up there himself.
probably.
Just like the dude who put the snake up his
Snake up his
Exactly.
pecker.
pecker.
Yeah, Anna, look up mango worm on YouTube.
Mm.
Okay.
And
There
I'm
we go.
like, okay, but I think I know.
What are you ladies getting me into here? Oh god. Okay.
Oh, trust me, this is a rabbit hole you don't want to
Mango
go. If it crosses you out.
worm.
I've even watched.
Okay.
This will
Mango worm.
He hates feet.
And a dog.
Absolutely hates feet. But I'll sometimes watch the ones where they go
Ooh,
in
there's
with nasty toes and they clean it all out and they
Mhm.
get the nails looking good. Yeah.
oh god. These are these are gross. Oh my god. What the hell? These poor how is this a real thing?
Africa, yeah, it is.
This is
The
god.
larvae live in the ground, and when dogs lay down, they burrow up under the dog's skin, and then they turn into those things.
Oh god. That's awful. The poor
Few places I never
puppies.
want to live. Australia, because they have about everything that will kill you. Parts of Africa.
Yes.
And parts of Florida. Sorry, Kate, but I'm never living in Florida because I've heard the bugs down there.
Oh, there's a palmetto bug under my fridge right now that's this long that I can't.
Oh wow.
I
Oh,
can't
wow.
get. When I went to stomp it, it ran under the fridge before I could get to it. And they're ubiquitous down here. They're everywhere. They're just
Mhm.
it's a
Yeah.
marker of your house being clean or not. They just get in. So when I moved
Yeah.
down here, I had Nick and Cal moved down 2 months before I did. I had to finish up notice because I didn't want to just leave my job at a lurch. So I worked out
Mhm.
notice, and that sucked being away from my family for 2 months. That I did not like that. But I drive down by myself, car full of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I got to the house and it was late. You know, it just because it was an 18-hour drive with breaks. It took me 24 hours.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I get to the house and everybody's asleep. So I wake Nick up and he's thrilled to see me. Obviously, we let the baby sleep because he was only 2 at this point. And I go into the bedroom to go to bed, and there's a couple of these like on the wall. I'm like, what the hell are those things? Nobody had warned me about them.
Oh. Mm-mm.
Fucking roaches,
Oh.
and they're like 3 or 4 inches long.
Mm-mm.
Yep, and they fly.
They could fly,
And they
yeah.
fly.
And Knockwood,
Yep.
that house had a problem. Like we sprayed constantly. Knockwood, this house, we've only ever seen one every once in a blue moon. Like
Yeah.
especially like, and right now, unfortunately, though, we are seeing like the once in a blue moon. You know, one got in the house, and now we have to kill the damn thing. I hate them. The host like, oh,
Yeah.
Twice that I've really dealt with roaches. First time I was doing a summer work program at the Navy Annex, which used to be right next to the Pentagon. Old building.
Mm-hmm.
And the women's bathroom that was right across from my office was right next to like the utility room where like
oh
the
no.
heater and all that was. So we constantly had roaches in that bathroom.
Yeah.
So you would walk in, and
Oh.
because they were censored lights, they would pop on, and you'd see the roaches go scurrying away.
Oh.
It got so bad they had to shut that bathroom down to spray. So we had to go downstairs and use the another bathroom. Second time we had bad roaches was when I worked in the middle school, and the classroom we had a water pipe that went through the storage room next to our classroom that we used and went out, and roaches would crawl into it and get into the ceiling tiles and fall down.
Yeah.
So we had, I was not sad to.
I lived in a place in Newport News, and we were living in a trailer, and when we moved in, we noticed some roaches, and I was like, my mom and I both were like, I don't know. So we bought some bombs, and we were going to set off a bunch of bombs, and just get rid of the roach. We figured maybe the previous tenant had brought the roaches with them. We opened up one of the cabinets in the kitchen, and putting the bomb in, my mom's boyfriend hit the wall in the back of the cabinet, and it busted open, and there was a ball of roaches in there. He had found the nest. He took 3 bombs, set them off right underneath of that bitch. He said, I found the nest. We're out. And he put 3 bombs under that nest. Never had any more roaches in that house, but good night. He said the ball was like this big behind the cabinet. It took us like maybe 2 hours after the bombs had all cleared out and everything. It took us like 2 hours to clean all the dead bodies out of that house. It was bad. Yes, all the carcasses. It was disgusting.
Well, they say one of the things you want to do is like they love apparently like they love cardboard. So that and silverfish.
Cardboard and paper bags.
Yeah. That's why the only cockroach that is cute is from Wally. That is the only cockroach that is cute and that is acceptable. The cockroach and Wally.
Yeah, we were going up. Our laundry room was outside of the house in the old root cellar, and it was infested with camel crickets. If you've never seen these things, they're the creepiest little things I have ever seen in my entire life. I hate them.
And they don't jump away from you. They jump towards you. That is their defense, is they jump towards you, and they are the worst. They scare the shit out of me. Thankfully, my 2 cats will catch them and eat them. I have found nothing but legs.
I had to laugh when I first moved to Florida. We had 3 cats at the time. And again, it was like right after I moved down here. And I'm laying in bed, all 3 cats who normally didn't stay that close together are lined up on a nightstand staring at the wall. I'm like, oh God, what's on the wall? What's on the wall? What's on the wall?
I don't want to look, Nick. What is it?
It was a tree frog.
Oh
no.
Out of the house. I didn't want it to die, so I made him catch it and take it outside. But knock wood, I mean, thankfully, palmetto bugs are gross. They are. They're huge. They're ugly. Yeah. They fly. But thankfully, like they don't generally infest. It's like after it rains, sometimes you'll see 1 or 2 in the house. It's no big deal. You kill them, you move on. Knock wood, and I am going to knock wood. I've never actually had cockroaches, like the little German shitty cockroaches. It's always been, just those ugly ones, those ugly palmettos. But my favorite bug story is when I lived in Pennsylvania, because up in the Northeast, there's wolf spiders.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and they carry babies on their backs.
Yep.
Yes, they do.
I was working on at an ER in Pennsylvania, and I was sitting outside having a cigarette because this was back when I actually smoked cigarettes, long time back. And it was a nice night. I'm just, I think it was like October, so it was nice and cool. It was pretty, And I'm just sitting there puffing on a cigarette, reading a book, and this wolf spider comes by me. My theory with bugs outside is you're outside, you stay away from me, I leave you alone. You come into my little bubble of space,
exactly.
Die. Yeah. Well, it ran right towards me, so I put out my big ass foot and I stomped that fucker to death.
And you saw the babies go.
Yeah, I'm sitting there like I didn't stand up, but I'm sitting there tap dancing like crazy, trying to kill them all because they're all like boiled off. I'm like and I'm.
Yeah.
I'm tapping. This is so hard.
Yeah, we have wolf spiders around
Oh,
here.
I hate those things.
I actually think I saw a young one outside our door because I was bringing Magnus in from our evening walk, and I scooped up our cat that likes to if he's outside, he follows us on our walk. So I scooped him up because I was like, it's time to go inside. And I'm getting to the door, and I just happen to look over, and I see a spider. It's probably about like that.
Oh,
Just
Yeah.
chilling on the bricks.
oh God.
I was like, yeah, in the house. Because it started coming towards me. And I was like, nope, in the house. The thing is not coming in. And I look out the window, and it's just chilling there on the bricks. I was like,
Oh,
Yeah.
and I thought, I was like, I think that's a young wolf spider.
oh God. No, thank
I was
you.
like, nope, you can stay out there.
Yeah.
You're not a house spider. You're an outdoor spider. Because we
Oh.
do have like little house spiders that we leave alone in the house. Because they eat the bugs, they take care of like the bug, the silverfish, and some of the other bugs that you get and the ants that get into the house. And we're like, they're called Henry. All our house spiders, no matter where they are Henry.
Mhm.
Henry are safe as long as they just
Chill and do their job, and then
if they chill, they do their job. If they come out and they accidentally get stepped on, well, you know what? You shouldn't have come out.
All right.
Or if the cats get them, you shouldn't have come out. You need to stay hidden and do your job. But I was like, no, that's not a Henry.
Right.
You can't come in because you're not a Henry because you're much bigger. I mean, he had to have been close to like
Yeah.
the size of a 50-cent piece. I was like, no,
Oh,
yes.
oh, so gross. Actually, the most scared I ever got up north, I was, again, having a cigarette break. I quit smoking cigarettes like 10 years ago. But this was a while, this was back when I was still smoking cigarettes. And it was in Reading, Pennsylvania, working at an overnight ER. And you could smell skunk outside. Like somebody had hit a skunk or something. Like, and I'm outside. I'm like, I smell skunk. Whatever. I'm in a lit parking lot. I'm not particularly concerned. All of a sudden, I feel something rub against my leg. I'm like, oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. I looked down. It was a stray cat. I'm like, oh, thank God. I about had a heart attack. I thought I had a damn skunk walking by me. I'm like, oh my God, I about died. I mean, my heart rate spiked. I'm like, don't look. Oh, you gotta look. Don't. Oh. I looked down. Thank God, it was just a little stray cat. Oh my God. My heart, it took me probably half an hour for my adrenaline to go down from
Your
that.
heart is like up here. You're like trying to swallow to get your heart back down.
Oh my God.
Like, we don't have, well, I know there's skunk in the area, but right around like us, we usually don't see any skunk. But we just, we have your typical foxes, raccoons.
Yep.
We used to have a possum that liked to come chill on our walkway and our front porch. And there was one time we came home and we park and we're walking up and we hear this kind of, you see the possum kind of doing his little, waddle, and he's just cussing us out as he's waddling down our walkway to the driveway to come on the woods. I mean, he's just cussing us out. Like, how dare you? How dare you disturb me? We're like, sorry.
We had a raccoon. Our cats used to be outdoor cats, so we left our sliding glass door open about a crack in a house we used to live in, and so the cats could get in and out. Well, a raccoon decided to come in and steal a loaf of bread. Came in, took the loaf of bread, and went out the door with it. And I saw him leaving with the loaf of bread. I was like, "Excuse me, that's ours." Going after him.
Oh my God.
When I lived in Louisiana, I went outside one night because I heard something rustling around outside, and I went outside, and roaming around outside was this big old armadillo, and he was bumping into a tree. I think he was trying to get down into the canal or something, and he just would not move. He kept going da 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 boom, da 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 boom. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You're stupid. So I'm out there with a stick trying to guide him away from the tree. I'm like, you are stupid and blind. Stop. Go this way. So he ended up finally I got him away from the stupid tree, but he would not. He was like, no, I'm going to go this way. I'm supposed to go. I'm going into the tree. I'm like, no, stupid armadillo. Oh my gosh. Well, ladies, I hate to say it, but we are after 10.
Oh, yes.
Oh no.
So we must call it a night, unfortunately.
This was fun. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you,
We
everyone who
appreciate all our
watched it.
supporters. Like and subscribe. Follow us on all our platforms. You can find us on all the podcast platforms on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter.
And listen to the audio broadcast on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, iTunes, anywhere you can get any audio podcast. We should be there. And make sure that you leave us comments and reviews and all kinds of happy crap because, well, we kind of like it and we very well might sometime maybe actually answer stuff. I don't know.
And give us suggestions for shows. We'd love to hear
absolutely.
Yes,
What do
definitely.
you want to hear us talk about?
Yeah.
Send us,
I mean, we can sit
send
here
us
and
suggestions,
bullshit
send us questions.
every Thursday for an hour and a half, but if there's something you want to talk about, tell us.
Yeah, let us know.
We love getting
Yeah, if you
people in
want
the
to help.
chat. We do talk to you in the
Hell,
chat.
if you want to, if somebody wants to freaking, be a guest because they want to talk, they have something that they think that we would be interested in hearing, like a story or something, let us know. Maybe we'll send you a link and let you in.
Mhm.
Possibly, maybe.
If we don't
One of
have
these days.
already, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
All
let us
right,
know.
ladies. Just let us know. Does anybody want to give any info where they can find you at, or
I've been on this
y'all are
long
doing
enough, and
anything
you don't
special?
know how to find me. Then
Same.
not important.
Yeah.
Just stalk our spouses. You'll find us.
Pretty
Pretty
much.
And if you don't know who our spouses are, then that is a good idea. All right,
When
ladies.
you really don't know us.
Good night, everybody.